Say hello to one of the more interesting luxury coupes we've seen in a while. Witness the revived soul of Lexus. The 2018 Lexus LC500 and LC500h form Lexus's first full-size, full-lux coupe lineup since the SC430 Jelly Bean disappeared in 2010. The LC500s have no retractable metal roof, no third or fourth doors and no bastardization of the classic front engine, rear drive grand touring concept, unless you count the hybrid option as such. The most unconventional thing about them is a new, multi-stage shift device that moves hybrid dynamics in the right direction. Or maybe it's the in-your-face styling from the LFLC concept. If you loved the LFLC show car, introduced to acclaim at 2012 Detroit Auto Show, then you're going to love the LC500, because the road car is as true to its design concept as any we recall. The LC500's proportions are a bit different, yes, but you'll need a tape measure to be sure. All the themes, the long, low hood, low horizontal axis and big, full wrap wheel arches remain, at considerable expense to Lexus. Chief Engineer Koji Sato says the LC500 required an unprecedented level of give and take between its design and engineering teams. It also required development of downsized lighting components, an unusual double-jointed front suspension and a pedestrian detection system with a compression-loaded, pop-up hood that maintains pedestrian impact standards. The details remain, too, starting with a giant wire mesh grille that tightens from bottom to top. The 3 LED headlights are here, and the chrome blades framing the roof, and floating rear pillars and Lexus logos incorporated in the light clusters. An active rear spoiler is optional. The only appearance distinction between the LC500 and 500h is a hybrid badge behind the rear fender scoops. Underneath, the LC starts with Lexus's new GAL rear drive platform, which also provides the foundation for the next-gen LS sedan debuting this January at the Detroit Auto Show. Its exterior dimensions come close to those of potential competitors, the Mercedes-Benz S550 Coupe, the BMW 650iN, at the fringe, the Bentley Continental. The LC's 113-inch wheelbase is a fraction longer than the S550s, and a couple of inches shorter than the 650is. Its unit body is a mix of aluminum and steel, joined where the metals meet by adhesive and self-piercing rivets, and pieces of carbon-reinforced plastic. Sato says the LC is more torsionally rigid than any Lexus before, including the LFA hypercar. Its engine is moved lower and more rearward, compared to previous full-size Lexi, with most of the mass behind the front axle. Its shock towers are fully boxed with braces. Weight rests 52% on the front wheels, 48% rear, and the LC's center of gravity matches the occupant's hip points, about 20 inches. Its fenders, doors, and suspension arms are aluminum, and its trunk lid is carbon fiber. An optional carbon fiber roof trims 13 pounds, compared to the standard glass. The gas-only engine is not the standard V8 from the LS460, but the high-compression, dual-injected, 7,300 RPM 5.0 from Lexus's RCF and GSF hot rods. A new twin airbox intake path lifts horsepower by 4 and torque by 9 pound-feet, thanks to a secondary intake stream that opens at high RPM. That gives the LC500 peaks of 471 HP at 7,100 RPM and 398 lb-ft at 4,800. Its 10-speed automatic is a luxury class first. Sato says Lexus considered a dual-clutch automatic, but no dual-clutch delivered the smoothness his engineers saw, and the full-lock torque converter in the LC500's conventional automatic means DCT shift speed. The first 7 gears are close and evenly spaced, intended for rhythmically even sound and shift points during full throttle acceleration, and the steering wheel paddles are magnesium. The top 3 gears are overdrive. The LC500h starts with Toyota's familiar corporate 3.5-liter V6, tuned here to 295 HP and 257 lb-ft, redline raised from 6,000 to 6,600 RPM. 2 synchronous motors in the transmission case bring total system output to 354 HP. A planetary gear set between the motors works with the first as a conventional continuously variable transmission, CVT. Lexus's first lithium battery is 20% smaller and 45 pounds lighter than its existing NIMH pack, with an increase in voltage and 44 kilowatts capacity. Yet the real news in the hybrid powertrain sits at the back end of the transmission, just before the drive shaft. That would be 2 more planetary gear sets, which, along with a whole lot of computer processing power, do some pretty amazing things. Lexus calls its multi-stage shift device a game changer in hybrids, and we are not inclined to disagree. The process is complicated, but the result is pleasing. The extra gear sets after the second electric drive motor amplify drive torque more like a conventional transmission. LC500h has 10 steps or gear phases just like the LC500, more like genuine mechanical gear steps than the electronically managed phases in most CVTs. The result comes much closer to the direct, linear feeling of the conventional box, rather than the stretchy rubber band sensation we know from CVTs. Moreover, the 500h transmission allows full manual override, right to the engine's red line, and it will allow the driver to actually overpower the rear tires and slide the back end in lower gears. Try that in your typical hybrid. Yes, the multi-stage shift device works counter to the essential justification for a CVT, which is efficiency. Yet Lexus claims it's gotten it all back and more. At steady road speed it can keep the engine at optimal rev speed without suffering a failure to accelerate if the driver floors it, and the 500h has a more efficient final drive ratio than previous Lexus hybrids. It should deliver the same 20% fuel economy advantage in city operation. Underneath, the LC's front suspension uses two upper and two lower double-jointed control arms. This expensive-looking setup was developed foremost to maintain the show car's low hood, though Sato says it also allows more finite, subtle reaction to driver input or road surface. The rear suspension applies a more conventional multi-link arrangement, with coil springs and electronically managed adaptive shocks all round. Chassis electronics are identical to those in the LFA, and tuning is based on what Lexus learned with its exotic. The LC's brakes measure 13 inches in diameter in front, 12 inches rear, with aluminum monoblock calipers and 6 and 4 pistons, respectively. Factory wheels will come 20 inches cast, or 20 and 21 inches forged, with a range of tires from mild to full sport wider in back for that classic coupe look. The 2018 LC500 and 500h will roll from Lexus's Motomaki factory home of the LFA by May of 2017. They'll hit US dealers by June, starting at about $80,000. A range of sport accoutrements, including sport seats, color HUD, rear steer, and a Torsen limited slip diff should drive the peak toward $120,000, and the 500h will be more expensive across the range. Lexus execs in the States expect 400 LC sales per month, with 15 to 20% hybrid. That's small potatoes for a brand that has sold 122,000 cars through November this calendar year. The LC is the sixth coupe Lexus has offered through its 27 years, including the LFA and current RC, but it's the first developed entirely under the direction of Toyota President Akio Toyoda. Toyota also happens to be Lexus's chief brand officer, rated a master driver, and purveyor of the mantra, "No boring cars." We like what the LC says about the revived soul of Lexus, and also what it does for hybrids. How's it drive? Like a fairly conventional luxury coupe, and a very good one, embedded near the fun, athletic end of the spectrum. Nothing about the LCS jumps out as bad, underdeveloped, or even awkward, and we don't say that about too many cars. We can start with the V8. The 5.0-liter F engine isn't the most powerful in this class, but it's plenty powerful, and it revs sweetly. In the era of blown everything, it's refreshing. Full boot shifts come quickly, bap 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 in nice even bursts. Floor the LC500 on any empty road and it will downshift a couple of gears, shove you into the seat and fly. The back wheels will skip in the upshift from second to third, but that's the sole interruption to a silky, invigorating flow of acceleration. When torquier competitors are gasping for more forced air and stuttering under the weight of their own internal inertia, the normally aspirated LC has another 1000 RPM of free breathing. Intending no offense to DCT fanatics, we say with absolute surety, the torque converter automatic in the LC is a no-brainer. In an automotive realm where conventional manuals have been banished to the fringe, the LC500 transmission represents the best of all worlds. It's as good as a dual clutch in manual mode.